which then is moving through deltoid, intermuscular septum, extensor group. Okay, that's your key. Now, he's got tightness there, so we could do some version of statics on it to help open the line. We could go after the intermuscular septum. I want to get this on the film. Okay. And I can do a strum through there of some sort if I wanted to. The other thing is, still a long lever, we can check, and you can see, this is why you're feeling capsular release, and his guarding, the rotation really bothers him. We can see that. We're pretty clear with that, okay? All right, so we can shift for a second. We've assessed the lines. We can feel that the lines definitely need work in this area, and I'll work them. But I could shift back into the capsular pattern of restriction. So what have I taught you that we can do capsularly to change it? We can do a crowding technique. So let me demonstrate that crowding technique. So he doesn't want to go much higher than that, okay? And but I still, in order to get away with it at this point, because I want to monitor the change in rotation, is I'll keep it in the long lever position, and then I'll crowd. As the release comes, there it goes. You can see that that little crowding from the backline position has changed the game. You see the movement now of the scapula. Does that change a little bit? Yeah, it did. So that was a very easy move. In fact, at least we're starting to get even a little bit of the sense of torque here. Okay? Easy breezy so far? So let's stay on the idea of the levering. So we've shifted. We still have the line in mind. I never lose the line. But now the line is combined with sleeve twist and capsular restriction. So what we're going to do now, it's all right, is take this and go after an ease position in rotation. So I have neutral first, just like a regular lever, and now I go after rotation, ease position rotation. Now, because it's the shoulder, you can see when I go to crowd, I don't have the shoulder crowded as sufficiently as I want. So I'll place my hand on or around the acromion process, and I'll again put another crowding technique on. Now, this was taking a while. You can see his breath and monitoring it. This one I'm going to engage for a bit. Now, how do I know that? Is the question that you're probably thinking. Well, experience tells me, and I feel the restriction, and he's negotiating with me. And this has been a little more subacute. He's had it for a while. I hesitate to use the word chronic, but it's just a sense of the crowding barrier. That feels good, doesn't it, to have it engaged? It's got that nice sense that it's releasing, and I'm just going to hang. I'm not going to overforce. I'm just going to put more duration on it. As it starts to respond, this is a good 30 seconds. So you guys were right. It's like something with the shoulder, and he's been, has got so much tension. I'm going to even just back off and check it. Now, we are getting better movement out of it. Now, this will be more of a sense clinically when you've engaged a lot of barriers, that your intuitive sense about how long to hang in barriers, you can start to play with. There's no rule that said, Stephen, you should hang in that barrier for 30 seconds or 60 seconds. But it was a kind of guard response that was telling me that he wanted slow movement. Notice when we did faster things, he was guarding. Go ahead. What were you going to say? Yeah, I know it's that arm, but we're going to say, for sake of tension, if this was that shoulder, I'm going to do pretty much the same thing. This barrier feels like it wanted time, so I gave it time. Does that make sense? So it's kind of like, that'll come with compression time. You'll have a sense of not every barrier is the first engagement and a release, if you follow me. It's like when we had hip barriers that were fairly strong, with compression restriction. Some of them you guys would tend to go quick and you think it would be clear, but there's a depth to it. There's also, tissue takes time to kind of respond, really. Now this one we'll go back and we'll do it over there, not on the DVD. It may be different. You're right, because it's a different shoulder and it was the one that was injured. But this one was telling me didn't matter. The restriction was dictating the time that I needed to put on it. Okay. Anything else with this? The second thing is going to be to work twists. Now he's still guarding here. He's got a lot of shoulder stuff. But now what is happening is I can take it up where I couldn't take it before. So I'm going to go again and work an ease position. Let it drop. Breathe. And this time, in this position, I'm going to, like doing a trochanter, I'm going to go ahead and push. Because I can feel that the main restriction is the hub. Okay, so when I talk about the hub, at a trochanter, we have a splay. Trochanter acts as a unit that takes a variety of circular direction fanning. Well, if we look, we have a similar sort of sense as this scapula. So I want that hub to relax. It does, so that now you can see me getting a lot more movement out of it. Okay? Now let's go ahead and try to do that over this side.